What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Moose Milk Podcast. This is episode 103. And we've got no Dalmatians jokes to say this week because they didn't make a second sequel. So
true dat, son. True dat. 100, more like 101 down. Nah.
No, it's nothing. We got nothing.
Not my best. A little sloppy.
Thanks everybody for checking us out. We are talking The Last of Us episode 6 this week. I didn't change the fucking banner for this thing, so we're doing it on the fly, baby. Doing it on the fly.
It's okay. Sometimes flies not a. Sometimes you do it on the fly and you realize like you don't actually have to be prepared. Like sometimes I'm trying to get my camera to go straight. See, sometimes like I'll put so much effort into like prepping a show and I don't end up using like any of the notes. It's like,
yeah. Well, if anybody's watched all 103 episodes or 102 episodes of this thing, is they know that we're never prepared.
Yeah.
We do this by the seat of our pants, and look at this. Check it out. Boom! There it is. Episode 103.
It's like you didn't even know that we weren't ready.
Yeah, I could have done it sneakily, and you wouldn't have known. But how are you, my friend? How was your week?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm busy. I pretty much spent my day today taking down figures and collecting all the accessories from a giant bin and pairing them with all the figures. And I still have to take pictures and put prices on everything. But right now I'm neck deep in I'm reorganizing my custom fodder bin right now. So I started right before we came on and going to piece together a few more projects that are coming up. And yeah, nothing crazy, but.
So people can check your Instagram feed in the coming, days?
Yeah, I'm sure I'll probably post a few pictures. I'm sure. Cool. If they're worthwhile. I may not have anything worthwhile yet, but we'll see.
All right. Well.
All right. How is you? How are you? How is you? What are you doing?
I'm good. I just got home from seeing Jim Jeffries live.
Yes, that's right.
He just played a set at the casino in my city, and he was fucking hilarious. It was great.
Yeah, that sounds great, man. I've never seen him, but I like Jim Jeffries. So if he ever comes around, I'm sure I'll probably try to find him.
He's very vulgar, as people may know. He likes to say a lot of stuff that you shouldn't say publicly, but he has a brand new stand-up that just came out on Valentine's Day on Netflix that I haven't seen yet because I didn't want to ruin this if he had any repeat jokes or anything like that. And he first thing he did was came out and was like, "Hey, did anybody watch my new stand-up?" And you could tell the crowd was pretty mixed. And he's like, "Well, I'm not repeating any jokes from it, so for you fucking idiots that didn't watch it, go watch it." It was good.
That's funny.
But yeah, he was really good. He was really funny. He had two openers, and
nice.
Yeah, the first
How long was the show? Sorry, you started at 8?
2 hours.
Okay.
It was he had 2 15-minute openers ish, cool. And then he did an hour and change set. So
nice.
Yeah, he was really good.
That's what I like about stand-up comedians. I get that's not like a concert where you go and you wait.
Yeah, it was.
I like how it's you get there, ticket says it starts at 8. Yep. They're like, "Hey, this is the opener." And he goes and comes off. "Hey, here's the next opener, next one," and then here comes the headliner. It's so convenient. It's so nice to not have to sit around and wait.
Yeah, no, it's very different than a live show.
Yeah,
concert wise, it's just they came out, they did their set. As soon as the guy came out, he was like, "Hey, here's the next guy." He came out. He's like, "Okay, Jim will be out in a minute." It was literally 12 seconds and Jim came out and I was like, this is awesome.
Nice.
Fucking the casino was sold out and yeah, it was a funny time. It was a good time. It was nice to get out. And
who did you go with again?
My friend Brian.
Nice. Cool, man. That sounds great.
Yeah, it was great.
It's a good way to finish off your vacation.
Yeah, for sure. I don't want to go back to work. I'm trying to figure out a way that I can cut off one of my legs so I don't have to go back. Sounds painful, but it might be worth it.
Sounds like you have a quite a predicament on your hands.
That is a predicament, and I don't like it. Jordan from Canada, that's very sweet of you to say. He said last Wednesday's birthday show was fantastic. You guys have great chemistry and compliment each other very well. Fun stuff. Thank you. Yeah, I guest starred on Whip Wednesday on this past Wednesday.
You sure did. It was so fun. We were just talking about it, and I was saying man, it's the longest episode I've had. It's over 3 hours.
Yeah, we
But
went for a
it's just
long
like
time.
it goes so fast. Like Brian said, like the last hour didn't feel as fast, but the first 2 hours were just like speeding by.
Yeah, I couldn't believe we were already at 2 hours. And yeah, it was fun. I love hanging out with you,
fun.
obviously, and we had a great chat going, and it was a good time.
Chat was great.
Yeah,
there was so much good conversation.
Totally. And I'm feeling better. I still have no taste or smell. So people that didn't pay attention, I have COVID. So I've been in isolation for 10 days. So like, I'm not contagious as far as I know anymore.
5 days. That's what you have to wait.
But I still have no taste or smell. So I'm feeling fine, but I just got McDonald's because I was starving and I couldn't taste 1 ounce of it. So that's a bummer.
That is a bummer.
I could taste the salt. I can feel the salt on my tongue, but I can't taste anything. So, yeah, not what you want, but
no.
Nothing else I can do about it. And last, before we get into what we've been watching and everything like that, anybody that's interested, I have been streaming The Last of Us Part 1, the first game from Naughty Dog, on my YouTube. So if you're curious about the game, but not necessarily a gamer or don't have, whatever, the console to play the game or whatever the case may be, it's in 2 parts right now. It is about 11 hours worth of gameplay. But that will catch you up to the end of episode 6 of the HBO show. So I ended it there. So if you're curious about the comparison, but you don't want spoilers or anything like that, I'm right up to the end of episode 6.
Nice.
So if you're interested, you can watch the first two episodes I put up. I'm going to continue streaming it till the end of the game, but obviously the next section of the game will be spoilers for the show, or potential spoilers, I guess.
Potential spoilers.
So if you want to check that out, go over to Amu Smoke Media on YouTube and check that out for me. Get me some views, and if you like the content, comment and subscribe, because that would be nice to see.
Hells yeah, son. By this time next week, I would have a cool sound effect for that. Like, beep, beep, beep.
I can't wait to see. Cool. So Matt got a Steam Deck for his birthday.
A Steam Deck? That's when you take a steamy shit on your computer.
What was it? Stream Deck.
A Stream Deck, yeah.
Sorry, my apologies. I'm an idiot.
Who doesn't like a good... when you take a hot shit on a computer desk and it steams. That's your Steam Deck.
That's good. I could go for that too. But yeah, what a great present from your wife.
I know, it was very nice. I haven't really had a chance to play with it too much. I can get it to play sounds, but when I press it, it's only in my ear.
Yeah, I can't hear it. So
I'll get there. Don't worry. I haven't really taken the time to set it up yet. So,
well, you just wait. This coming couple weeks of episodes is just going to be so fancy. You guys aren't even going to recognize the show anymore.
I know. It's going to be like a radio show.
Woo, woo, oh, it's Matt and DJ Ryan in the morning. Woo, woo. That'll be great. Everybody just smashed their car into a guardrail. The fucking volume spiked through the roof. But what'd you watch this week? Did you watch anything good?
Nah, I didn't really watch a lot. I just pretty much watched my usual stuff. What did I watch? I watched before we kind of watched a movie tonight. We watched, it's called Ticket to Paradise. It's like George Clooney, it's a rom-com. It's like George Clooney and Julia Roberts. It was like cheesily predictable, but it was whatever. That's fine.
I think was it on Netflix or something?
No, it just came out. It was at the movies not that long ago, so
I feel like I saw it, or maybe it was just an advertisement for it or something. But didn't see the movie. I mean, just seen like the trailer, or whatever.
I mean, it was whatever. I mean, like I don't mind a rom com. It was a little played by the numbers, so it was just whatever.
And Clooney, come on, you're like 65, man.
I don't mind Clooney, and he looks good.
Just give me some young. Look that good. Yeah, well, yeah, obviously. I'm not going to look like that at 65. I'm going to look like a fucking burned down dumpster at 65. I mean, I look like that now. What am I going to look at 65? I don't know.
You got to look like a 65-year-old burned dumpster.
Yeah, exactly. It's aged terribly, and the paint's chipping, and some homeless man is taking a dump in it. I love Julia Roberts, though. Julia Roberts is amazing.
Yeah, she was great. Yeah, so... what else did we watch? I watched Bad Batch as well.
How was
It's
this week?
another pretty decent episode. I liked it. I'm really like hoping they do like kind of like a big story arc or something of relevance, because right now it's like every week it's like a mission of the week kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like that's all right, but yeah,
Not lighting the world on fire.
yeah, it's just, I mean, it's fun. It really depends on the story, I guess, but like, with it's they're not doing anything, they're just filling in time, right? So if that's what it's going to continue to be, then I think they need to either shake things up pretty seriously or stop it, because
Well, it sounds like there's lots of changes coming to Disney Plus. So
oh really.
yeah, it sounds like they're ditching pretty much anything that's not worthwhile. Like,
Interesting. We
I
can
know
talk about that in a minute, because I was going to talk about Ant-Man drop too.
Ant-Man
Did you see
dropped too.
Ant-Man second week numbers?
Oh, I heard they're
They had the
expecting 70% drop or something.
they had like the worst Marvel second week drop ever.
Yeah, that's bad.
It's not good.
But it's also kind of what we've been saying. Like, the hardcore is going to continue seeing these movies, but the like casual slash, people that kind of had enough of the Marvel universe are just going to be like, yeah, I'm good. I'll wait for Disney Plus. That's fine.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case.
It sounded like I saw a thing today that said Bill Iger canceled the new Mighty Ducks show and something else. And like we talked about last week, there's only 2 shows apparently coming out this year for the Marvel world. So I have a feeling they're gonna cut all this like side slack of stuff that's like, hey, there's a viewership here, but it's not hitting any of our numbers that we actually want. So like it's gone,
Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, cut your losses, especially if things are looking to not be profitable. And again, right, like those second week numbers for Ant-Man are not good. So, and it seems like the general appeal, like, because even like I was saying to Ryan before we came on, my wife really wanted to see a movie today, and she was like, we were gonna go see Cocaine Bear, but our local theater was sold out by the time we decided to get tickets. So, oh, little Finn.
He's driving me nuts.
So like I was like, oh, jokingly, I was like, oh, we should go see Ant-Man, and she's like, I'm not seeing Ant-Man. She's like, the reviews on that are fucking horrible.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that they are pretty much done after that movie.
Damn.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy to think that they were on top of the cinematic world like 3 years ago, and now it's like,
well, I like I said, I just think people have had enough, and we're at 31 movies.
Yep,
that's a big commitment for a lot of people, man. It's like,
yeah, man, I agree.
If you want people to get into your universe, and you're like, well, you got to see 31 movies and 7 television shows before you can get into the 30-second movie, I think a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah, that's true. I do think that a lot of them can kind of stand alone. Like, I don't think Ant-Man could, but I mean, I think with new properties that you introduce, you could. Because the thing is like, you don't need to pivot your universe on pre-existing plot story details, but like, it's still fun to reference them. And like, if the general audience doesn't catch that, like, doesn't affect the quality of the movie. It's, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know, but
I agree with you. I think you could probably like narrow it down to 15 movies and say like these are the must-see movies of the universe.
Yeah. But again, you might not even need to. Like, you could probably pick up what you need to know on a YouTube video.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right?
There's videos out there that are like, I'm sure, like phase 1 in 5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, if you really wanted to commit and say, like, hey, what is the 10 best movies? I think you could probably get by and watch the 10 best movies and be like, yeah, I get the majority of this. Like, I'm not missing anything too key that I can't go watch Ant-Man. But I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed Ant-Man for what it was, but like, I don't think it was terrible by any stretch. I feel like,
me neither.
I think it's getting a lot of hate.
I actually liked it, but I think there's a lot of the criticism for it is valid, though. Like,
yes.
Even though I liked it, I still feel like there's some valid criticism for it. So,
yeah, I don't think people are wrong for where they're coming at it from it, but I don't know. I mean, let's see. Jordan from Canada says, I feel they should aim to make them like jump on at any point, like the comics, especially at this point. The problem with that is then you betray the people that have stuck around for it, right?
I
Like
agree.
as soon
That's
as
why I
you
stopped reading comics, because more modern comics got rid of a lot of like that. Every once in a while there's backstory, but like what I loved about comics back in the day was it would like they would reference something and it would say in a little bubble, to know what she's talking about, check out this episode of whatever, or this
right,
issue of whatever. And it's like in the more modern comics, they don't do that as much. So like for me, that was a big part of I was like, why even bother with all the history if you're not going to use it? Like
yeah. I agree. I love that about the MCU is
MCU,
like
me too. That's like their biggest ally, in my opinion.
I
And I
agree.
feel like they need to use it better, more. Like,
But like I am seeing that as the consensus out there is like
yeah,
I read a couple reviews where they're like the reason I'm jumping out of the MCU is I'm sick of them having
homework.
little Easter eggs and fucking call outs to previous shit and like, oh, here's a cute little reference to this or that. Like people are sick of it. And to me,
But the thing is, though, is like that argument doesn't make sense, because if you don't want that, look at Phase 4. Literally, all of Phase 4 was standalone,
I agree. I agree.
and the numbers for those are all shit. So what the fuck are you talking about?
Like we said, I think it's the characters they're choosing
Maybe,
to do these things with. Like I think the characters have become less compelling. I don't
yeah,
think the
I definitely
movies
agree
have
with that.
changed. I just think it's the character arcs of people of you can only go for so long and being like, hey, this C tier character is gonna get its own spin-off show. Like, no, there's just not a big enough fan base for
Yeah,
fucking,
we
Moon
talked about
Knight.
that on Wednesday, right?
Yeah,
About like who gives a fuck about Echo? Who cares about Agatha?
exactly.
Like who
Exactly.
cares? Like we don't need any of that shit.
No, no. I think you need to stick what makes the money and what the fans want. And the fans have been clamoring for X-Men for so long that like this like slow tease
Yeah,
is I think just hurting them even more and more. But
yeah, I do too.
what else
Just
do you
give
watch?
people what they want, because that's what they want. They want X-Men.
I agree.
I aside from Bad Batch and my usual shit, all I watched Royal Rumble 95 and Royal Rumble 99.
Very
Just
nice.
while I was customizing. I've been in a customizing kick this week, man. I'm loving how both the figures I'm working on are coming out. So
And you're doing them fast.
I'm doing them real fast.
Yeah.
Like they'll both be done in like under a month, well under a month by this at this rate, which is like pretty not normal. But
Right.
it's like old Matt fast.
Old Matt, but young
Old Matt.
Matt.
Yeah, girl.
I watch so much shit that like I'm gonna try to keep this as concise as possible. But
Yeah, because you were sick or you were home. So
I was home, I was on vacation, and I was sick. So I watched about 15 movies this week. So I watched all 5 Scream movies. Obviously, I'm a huge Scream fan. Can't wait for Scream 6, which comes out in like 2 weeks. So I binged all 5.
If you're gonna rank them, how would you rank them?
Scream 1, Scream 5, Scream 2, Scream 4, Scream 3. I like 4 a lot. Scream 3 is by far the worst one. That fact that Scream 4 is my 4th one isn't a discredit to that movie. I like that movie. But I think that would be my order. I have a nostalgic piece for Scream 2, and Scream 3 is terrible. But
Scream 1's the only one that really stands out to me enough that I actually like remember it. Like I know I saw 2 and I maybe 3, and then I think I saw 5 because you were like 5's good.
5 is good.
And yeah, I think that was it.
So speaking of that, then I watched Final Destination.
Oh shit, nice.
That movie
Those movies are fucking crazy.
Doesn't hold up.
Oh, okay.
I like those movies. I am nostalgic for those movies.
They're just so bloody and gore. Like they're so gory.
They're not.
Really?
They're not at all.
But what about with like the window that falls off the thing and like crushes that person and their log? Or
that's the second one.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I don't remember. I can't keep those ones in order.
So the first movie I loved. I remember seeing it in theaters. I was like, this movie's awesome. It is so of the era that like
oh yeah, I bet.
It's so early 2000s or late 90s, whatever it is. It's very of the era, and it just doesn't hold up. The acting's not very good. The CG's really bad. Like a lot of the kills don't look very good anymore.
Yeah,
the
I
one
can
with
imagine. They look pretty dodgy back then too.
I think that's the third one I want to say.
I feel like that's middle of the pack somewhere. Because how many of them is there? 5?
I think there's 5. Yeah, there have been rumors that they want to bring it back some way, but I don't know. It's nostalgic. Bring back Devon Sawa. Like what? Where the fuck did he go, man? Come on.
Yeah, what's up with Devon?
But yeah, the movie doesn't hold up well.
Okay.
So I watched Knock at the Cabin. That's the new Dave Bautista movie.
Yes.
M. Night Shyamalan directed. It's fine. I wouldn't go out of your way for it. Bautista's good in it, but the movie didn't blow me away. Banshees of Inisherin is from the director of In Bruges and The Seven Psychopaths. I don't know if you've seen either of those movies, but
no.
In Bruges is awesome. Like I love In Bruges.
That's where Daddy's from.
It's very dialogue heavy movies, like Tarantino-esque.
Okay.
But comedic, like very comedic. Dry humor, but like not a lot of action or anything like that. Like it's very dialogue driven. But highly recommend all 3 of his movies. It was great. It's not like I don't even know how to explain it, but like you're not gonna like be blown away by plot in this movie, but
it's just good story driven, like conversation bits.
It's very conversation bit, very dry humor, very funny.
Cool.
It's on Disney Plus, I believe, in Canada, so you can check it out there. Elvis, I watched Elvis. It's like an hour too long. It's like almost 3 hours long.
Jesus.
It's fine. If you're like a huge Elvis guy or girl, I assume you'll enjoy the movie a lot more than I did. I've never been really an Elvis person, but
I'm a big Elvis fan.
Really?
Yeah, I love it. My dad was a huge Elvis fan, so just by nature, because he listened to it a lot growing up. So
I didn't think I knew that.
Actually, yeah, I mean, I don't like. It's not like he's like my number one or anything, but I just I do like Elvis. Like when it comes on, like I wouldn't skip it. So I like that.
Fair. It's not like I think any of his music's bad or anything.
Yeah.
It's very of the 50s and
of
60s.
Its time, yeah, for sure.
I don't know, but
I definitely have a picture of my dad in an Elvis jumpsuit, 100%.
I'd like to see that.
Next week's thumbnail.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, the movie's fine if you're really interested in the life of Elvis, and check it out. But it didn't blow me away either. Everything Everywhere All at Once. We were talking about it last week. Matt had started it, but hadn't.
Oh yes, I finished that too. I guess so. Technically,
I loved it. I thought it was great.
I also loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Very funny. A couple really cute little side worlds that I won't spoil for the movie, but made me laugh out loud.
There's some great ones.
Yeah, very
I'm
good.
Just
movie.
Looking for my picture of my dad in an Elvis costume.
Yeah,
so
I'll just keep talking.
Yep.
I enjoyed it and I recommend it if you can catch it anywhere. It's definitely worth a watch, especially for nerds of the Marvel universe or comic book universes. This is very of that same genre, but its own standalone thing.
Yeah, it's funny because at first, when you first start watching it, it doesn't really feel like a superhero kind of. It's not really a superhero, but in that vein.
Yeah.
And then once it gets going, it becomes very animated, very quick. It's just
very silly.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? So, and it's fun. It's
very fun. Highly recommend. Then I watched Megan, which is I guess a new horror comedy-ish movie about a android doll, basically. It's creepy. It's not scary. I wouldn't say it's oh god, you don't, it's not like that. There's some jump scares, but it's not I didn't find it scary in any real way, but I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was actually pretty solid.
Nice.
I watched Dark Knight. I mean, we don't have to talk about it. Dark Knight's great.
Dark Knight is great.
After your Whip Wednesday, we were talking a bit about Terminator, so I decided to watch Terminator 1.
Oh, nice.
Oof, that movie is rough, bud.
Oh, really? That's disappointing. I'm not that surprised, though, because
it is just... I mean, look, I love the Terminator, so I'm never going to say don't watch the Terminator, but it just doesn't hold up well, man.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Some of the CG on the Terminator looks awful. The music is so of the 80s that it's oh my god, it's all that synth driven it's it just stands out so badly, and it's oh man, I wish somebody could redo this movie.
Great
Um,
idea, Jordan. Elvis would make a cool Mezco figure. Yeah.
Very nice. Final Destination was not my first DVD, but it was like up there as like one of my early DVD buys.
I was a late DVD adapter, and I
Yeah.
only bought it because Family Guy came out on DVD, and I loved Family Guy.
My first DVD, I think, was The Sixth Day with Arnold Schwarzenegger, I believe. Yeah.
Any reason for that, or?
I don't know. I thought that movie was cool because it was about clones and shit, and I was like,
Okay.
"That's cool, sci-fi. I love sci-fi."
That's cool. I'm gonna buy it on a disc and watch it.
I think I might have bought Castaway at the same time with Tom Hanks.
Nice.
I don't know. Anyway, it was early 2000s. I want to say it was like 2001, maybe 2.
When did you watch the T2 last?
Ooh,
Because I watched it a little over a year ago, and I felt like it still really held up.
I would say longer than that. I think it always has held up better than the original movie. Like I think Terminator 2 is just
The best
a better
one.
movie. Like it's
Yeah,
just.
I agree. It's one of those rare instances where the second one is by far the best of all of the series.
But people that say like T3 sucks and T1's way better than T3, I think you're fucking out of your mind. Like I understand that Terminator 1 started the franchise and everything, and there's like appreciation and nostalgia for that, but Terminator 3 is in every way a better movie than Terminator 1.
I'd have to watch, to be honest, I'd probably have to watch both again. It's been a long time since I watched, because the thing is like when T2 came out, I never had attachment to Terminator until Terminator 2 came out, because it got me way more into it. So
yeah, Terminator 2 is amazing. I mean, that movie's one of the best movies ever made, period. It just
really is.
If you're looking for a great sci-fi action movie, like it's top notch.
Mm-hmm.
Lastly, I started the show called Shrinking with Jason Segel.
Yes.
It's,
he was on Conan O'Brien.
That's what made me watch it.
Okay, nice.
So Jason Segel I love him in Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Forgetting Sarah Marshall is like one of my favorite comedy movies ever.
Yep, love him in Freaks and Geeks too.
So I never really got into Freaks and Geeks. That's a show I should definitely watch.
Especially because you like all the actors who are in it. So it's like it's great. Like honestly, I never liked it at the time. I got into it like way later. But like once I did, I was like, oh my god, this is fucking hilarious.
Great. I'll have to.
And it's only 2 seasons. You could probably bang through it like real quick.
Yeah, I think it's like 12 episodes total or something like that.
Yeah, or 14 or something like that. Yeah, it's low.
But yeah, I love Jason Segel, and he was talking about his new show that's on Apple Plus. It's called Shrinking. He plays like a psychiatrist. I don't want to spoil too much of the show, but what's his face? Harrison Ford is also in it, and he's great in it. It's a good show. It's only 6 episodes in right now. I think there's 10 in the first season, so it's still airing currently. But it's funny, it's likable, there's some sad moments, it's a little bit of everything. Jason Segel's very likable character in it.
Of course he is.
Same type of character that he always plays, like that lovable kind of asshole and best friend, but like still kind of has that dickish side of him, and it's just funny. He's got a teenage daughter that is really like likable in the show, and Harrison Ford is just super likable. There's a whole thing. He's great. He's just great in it. I don't want to spoil anything. He's great.
Nice.
So
we almost watched The Whale tonight, but
my buddy just watched it last night and he said it was very, very good.
Nice. Yeah, we're gonna probably get to that this week sometime. So.
He said it's sad though, so be prepared.
Yeah, I figured it would be sad.
Yeah, he said he cried, so
then I'll for sure cry.
Yeah, I was gonna watch it and then he told me he cried and I was like, I'm not in the mood to cry right now, so I'm out.
That's fair.
But yeah, let's get into Last of Us episode 6.
Yeah. Last of Us season 6, episode 6.
Season 1, episode 6. Yes. So spoilers for episode 6. If you're not up to date on Last of Us, this is your warning. We are getting into spoilers. What were your thoughts? What did you like? What did you dislike? Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was really good. I feel like we got a lot accomplished in this episode, which I liked, and the way it ended was a little worrisome, even though I know that it'll all be okay, but still.
Do you know that?
No, but I mean, yeah, kind of.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you?
I mean, I can't say. I mean, I guess I can say it. We're just saying spoilers. Like they're not gonna kill Joel off on episode 6. It ain't happening. There's no way. He's in the second one. I'm almost positive he is.
I won't say anything.
Okay.
I love this episode, but I do have complaints.
All right.
It's a very solid episode of television. Don't get me wrong, but they fast forwarded through so much plot.
Oh, really?
Let's start at the beginning or near the beginning.
You need to kind of drive this because I mean, again, like it's easy for me to look past that because I don't know what you're talking about. So to me, it's like nothing really.
Well, we pick up right where Joel and Ellie are looking for Tommy and where Tommy is, right? And
Tommy is Joel's brother.
Tommy is Joel's brother, and that's right from the game as well. Like Joel is going to Tommy. That's where the show really pivots. Is in the game you meet Tommy at the hydroelectric dam that you kind of see in the background there in that one shot.
Mm-hmm.
And Ellie's kind of asking how it works and whatever, and Joel's like, I have no idea how it works, but it works. It generates electricity. There's a whole segment of the game where you're going into that dam as they're repairing it, and you have to fight off a bunch of just goons that are like trying to take the dam as well. So you're helping Tommy kind of like defend it and his wife and like their people, but like the whole town, all that stuff is not in the game at all.
Oh, really?
That's all from the second game.
Oh, interesting.
So my buddy was telling me that they talked about this a bit on the HBO podcast. They didn't have the budget to put the town into the game. Like they couldn't afford the time and the money to build this whole town out.
Right.
So they just went to the dam, and that's where Tommy and his wife are staying in the game, is at this dam. They talk about the town. What was that? Jackson, I think.
Jackson?
Yeah. That sounds right. But you don't see it in the game at all. So that's all from the second game, like foreshadowing stuff from the second game. So for fans of the game, you're seeing something straight pulled out of the second game into the first season. Yeah. But that segment is like hours long in the game. Like you're doing a lot of little things. There's a lot of story elements built into that. And like Joel does ask Tommy to take over, and like he's like, I'm too old for this. Like I can't do this anymore. Tommy, you need to take her the rest of the way. Blah 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 blah. Like that's all right from the game. But the town and all that is all for the show.
Crazy.
But as they're walking through the town, it's one for one from the game. There was a couple.
That's cool, man. I love that.
Yeah, it's really spot on. There's a couple Easter eggs in there that a character we think is a big part of the second game was showing in the background of a couple scenes in the show. So they're kind of setting up something for season 2 there. And the baby horse that she kind of walks by in the stable, and I can't remember what her name is. The horse, I don't remember, but they say it in the show, and that's her horse in the second game.
Ah, cool. I love shit like that.
Yeah, so really cool.
Did you hear about like the little town that they used for shooting that is like becoming like this huge tourist attraction? It's in Alberta.
That's awesome.
It's getting a bunch of like love or whatever. I saw it on the news, like the local news here, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, like I'm surprised that more like scenes from like movies and stuff, like major scenes, they don't keep like the set and then like have that as like a tourist destination. Like
totally, because
there's so many like places in Canada where you could just totally like make a town that's like exactly like whatever city from a movie set or whatever, and you'd get so much people coming in and like touristy stuff like that, man.
Yep, true.
But yeah, no, it's the town is so iconic in the game. Like it's beautiful. There's a thing called E3 for people that aren't gamers that they host. They used to. It's not really a thing anymore. But
it's not.
No, it's pretty much dead. None of the console manufacturers go to it. But anyways, so back as we were growing up till like probably 4 or 5 years ago, E3 was this huge thing where all the like Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft would go to, and announce all their next big games for the coming year or years out. And the last time Sony did it, it was all like they themed their entire press conference room as Jackson from The Last of Us.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so it was really really cool done. But yeah, it's awesome. Like I love seeing that iconic scene from the game.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's cool that they mimicked it so well.
Yeah. And then so basically we get the segment of Joel and Tommy talking about taking over, bringing Ellie to the Fireflies. Joel decides like he can't leave her, and she said she'd be too scared to be anywhere without him, and they decide to go off together, and they go to the university, outdoor like dorm area / class area. That's like a hours long segment in the game as well.
Yeah, that was really fast here,
and they like did it in 3 minutes. Like
yeah.
But
like, don't you like? Can't you have some understanding for that? Like,
totally. I understand. There's things that don't necessarily translate from video game to show. Yeah. Like, you're in that area, you're turning on different generators to open doors, and as you turn on generators, like people hear it because it's loud, and so they come in and attack you. Or there's a scene, like a couple scenes where you're going through different dorm rooms. Right. And like picking up like bits and pieces to upgrade your guns and stuff like that.
So but you don't need to watch that.
No, but you do fight like the big bloater guy from a couple episodes ago. You fight one of those in one of the dorm rooms.
Oh, crazy! I definitely expected there to be infected here, but
yeah. So they skipped over like a lot of content in the game, from the show to the game, or game to the show, but I loved it. Like I think the episode is still like a 9 out of 10. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm just saying like they did leave a lot out.
Interesting.
Lastly, I'll say the way Joel gets injured at the end of the episode is different than the game too.
But he does get injured at the same point too in the game.
So in the game, there's a bunch of raiders attacking, and he's on the second floor of like a dorm area. And like there's like a balcony overhang on the second floor, like dropping down to the first floor basically. Mm-hmm. And a raider comes and attacks him and pushes him over the balcony edge, and he lands on a piece of rebarb that goes through his stomach.
What?
And in the game, like Ellie has to like help lift him off the piece of rebarb that's through his stomach. Yeah,
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's brutal. And so I don't like that. For the show, they got rid of that, and he just gets like shanked basically.
I prefer that.
it looked painful as fuck still.
It looked painful, but yeah.
But yeah, like he literally has a piece of rebarb that goes through his body. So
I have to go and put my dog back in bed.
That's okay. I'm not upset with you.
You run the show for a minute or six.
What do you think I've been doing, baby? I've run in this shows for 2.5 years. I can do this for 3 minutes. I'm scared. He left me. What do I do? Yeah, no. So overall, I really liked the Last of Us episode. It's a standout episode for sure, but it did move through a lot of scenes very fast for the show, which they had to do because otherwise the series would have been 15 episodes long instead of 9. But Nike boy, what up? What up? Matt will be back in a second. He just had to go take care of his dog. Oh, thanks, Jordan from Canada. You're very kind. I appreciate that. Yeah, I love the show. I wish they could have maybe slowed down the pace of this episode a little bit, but overall, there's a lot to still get through, and we're running out of episodes. There's only 3 episodes left, and they have a lot of plot to go through still in 3 episodes. Don't apologize. You're fine, bud. Okay, so we have episodes 7, 8, and 9. I want to know what do you think the last 3 episodes are going to entail? You think Joel's okay?
I don't think he's okay, but I don't think he's going to die. I think maybe he'll be out of commission, but I don't think he's going to die. I don't think he's going to die because I just feel like you can't really kill him off, but maybe you can. I don't know. But I think it's going to end, like I said, I feel like this is still going to end with them getting to somewhere where there's like a turning point with Ellie, and like that little bit about her getting to wherever she needs to go to be possibly become the cure or whatever. I think we'll get to that point, but then like something will happen to like change either the direction they have to go, or like they find out that her situation, I don't know, something. I don't think it'll play out like it seems like it will. Like after all this time, I don't think we're gonna get there, and it's gonna be like, "Oh, you are the cure, yay!" And then she's the cure. Like I feel like we might get like a glimmer of hope, only followed by like something not good. So
Sure,
I feel like we'll end with like in a not great place.
well, I can tell you that The Last of Us is a very, very not great place show. It's a very sad, and although there's moments of hope and everything like that, the show is it's never going to change. It's always a very emotional roller coaster type show. We have, I think, and I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that this week's episode is mostly a flashback episode.
This coming week's?
Yes.
Like
I don't
flashback to like stuff that we've already seen, like a bottle episode, or okay.
before Ellie meets Joel, a whole segment of there's a piece of DLC for the game called Left Behind that takes place before Joel and Ellie meet. That's all about Ellie and her life before she becomes the cure for, or potential cure for, humanity. So
cool.
It takes place within like a mall, and is her and her friend just being silly teenagers in a mall after like the apocalypse. Basically, has very big moments of like nostalgia of like malls in like early 2000s 90s teenage type deal. But yeah, it should be a good episode, but I think people are going to be mad that they get strung along for another episode to find out what happened to Joel.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, but if that's gonna be the case, we probably won't get to know.
I'm not sure. It could be a balance of both, like, right? It could be flashbacks and then modern day, and then flashback and then modern. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
Let's see. Nike Boy says I haven't seen episode 6 yet, but I'll get to it eventually. I might wait for the rest of the season to come out and just binge them. Fair. I heard Joel had a fake out death. People that don't know anything about the game are probably shitting themselves. Yeah. So, little bit of spoiler there, but I mean, it's not necessarily a fake out death. I mean, it's Joel's injured.
Yeah.
Well, he's very injured. Having a flashback episode this late in the season is risky. You should have done that in episode 2 or 3. It'd be hard to do. I think you need to know Ellie as a character before you can do the Left Behind element of the show. I mean, they obviously Left Behind as a DLC for the game didn't come out for, I think, 6 months to a year after the game was out. So you had already known the story of The Last of Us before you got to play this piece of the game that was before. So I think it's important that you know Ellie as a character before you show this flashback scene.
Yeah, true that.
It's a very Ellie. It's very like her type of humor.
It'll give you more like emotion for that character too, because now you actually know how we get to current day Ellie, right? So
yes, and yeah, it has its emotional moments as well, and yeah, I don't know. I love the DLC. I love Left Behind, but it's very light on gameplay. Like it's a very much a story-driven segment of the game. Yeah. So yeah, I think it'll be great, but I can definitely see some people being upset that we're not finding out exactly what's happening with Joel.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I mean, overall, I liked it. Like I said, I did feel like we covered a lot of ground. Like, I feel like, we find his brother, find out about where he's living and what he's been doing, and go do something. And yeah, it just seemed like a lot, but I still liked it. I thought it was good. I think my only criticism so far up to this point is I feel like we're really light on like infected battles. Like, I feel like we don't really spend a lot of time getting away from like clickers or anything like that. I mean, I feel like we've only done that a couple episodes, so that'd be my only real critique at this point. Is would be cool to um like see a bit more interaction between infected people. And I understand probably not wanting it to just feel like a zombie movie though, so I guess in that sense I get it. But
and they want humanity to be just as big of a fear as the infected, right? Like,
yeah, that's fair.
The raiders and other people are just as scary and as dangerous as the infected are.
Yeah.
They definitely don't want it to just feel like a zombie show. I guess there is like massive like rules on set where you could not refer to them as zombies. You had to refer to them as infected. Like there's a lot of stuff like that, but I think that's all silly. I mean, they're zombies and call them whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But that there are going to be more infected definitely in the show. And like they do play a huge threat in the last segment of the game. They play a huge threat in the second game as well. So like they're not going anywhere.
Right.
But humanity is also a huge threat, and they do focus in a lot of that on the game. Like a lot of these hunters and stuff have dogs with them to sniff out infections and stuff like that.
That was cool. I like that.
Yeah. Trained dogs definitely play a huge part in the second game, where like they will hunt you down, they will bark, they will alert other hunters to where you are. Like you have to be very careful. You kill a lot of dogs in the second game.
Jesus.
And it's brutal. It sucks because like the first time you're met with that like situation, it's like I don't want to shoot this fucking dog. Like that's terrible.
But if I don't,
these dogs will kill me. So you don't have much of an option. But yeah, it becomes a huge part of the game. So we'll see. I love the building blocks they are giving for future things down the line too. So
nice. Nike Boy said, so Ryan, was that an earthquake a few days ago?
I don't know. I never seen anything about it. I don't know what it was. My whole house shook. The power lines on my street all snapped. So it could have been just something like that. I don't know. Like I don't know. It could have been a transformer blowing up and it like just a ripple effect of something exploding like shook the house, because a lot of the transformers in the city blew up. There was a lot of people without power for a couple days. So
my mom was without power for 14 hours.
Yeah, my uncle just got power back this morning.
Whoa, that sucks.
Yeah, it was like 3 days he didn't have power. So
damn. Wild.
Yeah, my street lights are still not fixed. Like my entire block on my street is black.
Crazy.
But yeah, I don't know what it was. I assume it was a transformer blowing up, but I don't know. I didn't see anything in the newspaper or anything about an earthquake. I looked, I didn't see anything. So maybe I'm just going crazy. Maybe it's a ghost. I don't know.
Sassy.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm glad you enjoyed this episode, because I really did too.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. I'm honestly, as a whole, I really like it a lot. So I really like, the thing I like the most about it is probably like seeing Joel turn into like this like kind of more caring. I mean, he's still fucking
he's an asshole
as hell, but yeah. But I mean, it's cool to see his progression. I mean, I assumed we were gonna get that, especially because they kind of set it up at the beginning how he was with his daughter. So like, kind of felt like that was coming. And also, I think Ellie finds out it was this episode, right? She finds out that he had a daughter.
Yeah,
that he had lost a daughter or whatever.
The memorial plaque over their fireplace that had Tommy's wife's, I guess, son or daughter, whatever it was, that had passed, and then also Sarah on the plaque as well. And Ellie asks about it and finds out that Joel had a daughter. And that's a huge pivotal point. And like even that scene with after Ellie finds out that Joel's ready to give her up to Tommy, she's reading like the diary of a teenager, and it's like, is this all kids cared about? Was like boys and movies and what to wear? Like why is this an important part of their lives? Like I don't understand it. Like, and it's like, yeah, that's all they did have to care about. Life was easy.
It's so sad, eh?
Yeah. She never gets to have that like ease of life where she's not worried about dying and being left alone, and her people she cares about dying, and like it's just a completely different priority set when it's life or death,
Yeah, absolutely.
But even this, you see the people within the community, right? Like they're having movie night, like they're carefree. They're in this contained town, and like I think Walking Dead did a lot of this too, is like, do you lose that like survival edge getting comfortable in a new town? Do you lose, like, you're out on the roads, you're always thinking about how to survive. Where do I get my next meal? How do I
Sure.
sleep? Where do I, rest? So on and so forth. You have all these thoughts in your head. But then when you get used to, more normal life within a closed off town where it's secure as far as you can tell, there's electricity, there's kids playing, whatever, do you lose that survival instinct? Do you lose anything from that?
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting,
Yeah, I definitely agree. So it honestly, it was just it was a really good, episode. I'm excited to see where we go next week. But again, it'll be if we get a clip episode or a flashback episode, that's fine. But would really love to get some movement on the story, because especially if you're saying we only have 3 episodes left, like, and still a lot of ground to cover, then.
Yeah, so I think if I'm to guess, the flashback is going to happen as the entirety of the next episode. I think you personally are going to really enjoy it, Matt. I think it's going to get a lot of backlash.
Oh, really?
I'm not going to tell you why or anything like that, but I'm going to say it's going to get some backlash online. And then the following episode, I think we'll pick up in the winter with Ellie and what happens with Joel. That's a huge segment of the game. That's actually a really terrifying segment of the game. We haven't seen winter. How do you survive in the winter?
Yeah.
It's very scary. And then the last episode, I assume, is going to tie right out to the end of the game. I would assume. I don't know. But it's a very action heavy set piece, the last part of the game. So
cool. Well, I'm excited nonetheless. I think it's going well so far. I'm engaged. I like it. And it's like I even this past week I actually watched it on Sunday night. So
tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to tomorrow because I have to do chores. I have to do chores every other weekend, but it's okay. So usually I do chores on Sunday nights, but
it's okay. It will be there when you're ready for it.
It better be, or else I'm coming for you.
Well, I don't know if you should come for me. I have nothing to do with that, but
you might though.
Okay. We also have Mandalorian season 3 starting this week.
We do? Oh, we do.
Starts Wednesday. So next week we will be covering both Mandalorian season 3 episode 1 and Last of Us episode 7.
Hot damn! It's going to be lots of Pedro Pascal.
It's all Pedro all the time, baby.
Oh, vote for Pedro.
Already have, already will. So we'll be kind of double dipping for the next 3 weeks with both shows. Nice. Then we'll continue on with Mandalorian after Last of Us is finished, and that should carry us pretty close to Guardians. So,
hells yeah, yeah. I think it ends on April 19th, right?
Yeah, so we'll still have a few weeks in between, but who knows? Maybe we'll get an announcement of when another show's starting. Or
that'd be great.
Also, I can talk about Succession season 4 and Yellow Jackets season 2 start at the end of March, so I'll be watching those too. So,
there you go. I won't be probably, but
I think you
will be.
I don't know if you would, but like I Succession's fucking so good. I know you said you give it a shot, but
yeah, I wasn't really feeling. I mean,
it's very dialogue heavy, but it's fucking so good.
Yeah,
you gotta pay.
Yeah, attention. I probably won't get into Succession, to be honest. So I'm still trying to find time to get into the Detroiters. That's the next thing I need to like sit down and watch.
Yeah.
But don't have time right now, so
no, life's busy. What are you gonna do?
Life's busy.
Thanks, Jordan from Canada. I appreciate that. Great commentary on keeping your edge. Amazing times in media. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Thank you for being here as always too. Yeah. Same with you, Nike boy.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I it's a great time to be alive. We got so much content, and it seems to almost never end. As soon as
never ending content. I'll take it.
Yeah, it's great. So yeah, next week will be great. We'll double dip on that. I won't be able to watch as much, so I won't take up 30 minutes of a fucking episode talking about shit I watched. But
that'd be good because we can spread the time a little bit more, right? Like between the two. Did you see that first episode of Mando with credits is only 35 minutes or 37 minutes?
That's terrible.
bummer.
That's terrible. I also saw that they have no idea how Mandalorian's going to end. They have not written an ending in any way, and I'm like, that really scares me. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta at least have a ballpark idea of where you're going.
Apparently not.
Hmm.
I can't remember who it was. I want to say it might have been John Favreau that talked about it, but I might be wrong. Said they have no idea how they're ending it. They don't even know how long it's going to go for. They don't know how many seasons they're doing. They don't know anything.
Yeah, I thought I saw him say something because everyone thought season 4 was going to be the last season, right? So
I wish it would have been, because I really think that a lot of these shows go on way too long. So
yeah, I mean, if it's still telling a compelling story, then sure. That's the thing is for me is like, if the story's still good, I'm good with more.
Where do you go with Grogu though? I really that's the scene. Like, do you keep him with Mando, or do you like spin that off into like
I feel like at
Jedi
this point,
thing?
I feel like at this point you kind of have to keep. He's kind of already made his decision that he's staying with Mando. So
no, but I'm saying as like an ending of the show, right? Like, do you?
Oh yeah.
Do you separate them at the end to spin off like Mando's going on to do whatever, and then you like Grogu is the next like Yoda master Jedi type thing where like he's got a school and he's adolescent Grogu or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, Grogu's gonna stick around no matter what, just because A, he's marketable, but B, his age and the way he ages, you could pretty much have him show up anywhere in the Star Wars timeline.
Well, I think they definitely like that. There's rumors that they're working on the new movie. To me, if you're going to do another like trilogy of movies, they need to be either set in the very, very distant past or the very far future. And I think that's an easy way to have, Grogu as like a 200-year-old fucking whatever they are.
He's Yoda.
Yeah, he's the Yoda.
He's hitting R2 units with sticks.
Exactly.
Mine.
Yeah. Well, how can you not love that guy, man? I hit people with sticks all the time.
Have you ever seen that lip sync video with Yoda with like the seagull or whatever? Ever? He like sings a song. It's really funny. You should listen to it. It's pretty funny.
I don't think I've seen it.
You will laugh.
I'll check it out. But yeah, talk about what you're doing on Web Wednesday this week.
Oh, this week it's gonna be good. We're gonna have I have my buddy Toy Farce on. He does satirical toy parody stuff every week, so kind of out there kind of content, but very funny to me and people in the hobby. So
awesome.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited. I'm not going to customize. I think we're just going to shoot the shit and chat. He's a musician. He actually plays in a band as well, so I can imagine there'll be some music conversation most likely. So
I'm excited for that portion. Love me some music.
Yeah, it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And he's got a cool accent too, because he's from somewhere not here. So
way to narrow that down.
It's from like, I can't remember. It's somewhere European.
Cool.
It's got a very heavy accent, but it's cool.
I love accents, so
me too. Big fan.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm super excited to chat with him. We kind of keep up too, so like it'll be fun to shoot the shit with them and all that jazz. So
definitely look forward to that on Wednesday. Yeah. You can follow
9 p.m.
Matt
PST.
over on YouTube at Customs by Matthew.
I'll do this. Hang on.
Oh, here it goes. And you can follow me at Moose Milk Media on Instagram and YouTube as well. You can grab the podcast on any podcast service you choose. And that's going to do it for this week. It was a little shorter of an episode, but I think we covered everything.
I think we did too.
So I hope you come back next Saturday, where we obviously will be talking about Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 1, and Last of Us Episode 7. Obviously, there'll be spoilers for both, so be prepared. And we'll catch you next week. Thanks, Jordan.
Okay.
Appreciate you. See you, bud.
Peace out. See you, everybody.
Bye-bye.